Mic on with Shawn. Let's get it. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. You have tuned in to Mic On with Shawn, our weekly podcast. I am your host, Shawn Soldit, and tonight's guest is the Jefferson County Precinct 1, Place 1, Justice of the Peace, Judge Naomi Showers Doyle. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. So excited because I love this platform. So
Thank you.
excited
I
to talk
appreciate
about
that. I
it.
thank you. I appreciate you for accepting the invite. I know that you're very busy. I know that you are not only, excuse me, Justice County. I'm sorry, Precinct One Justice of the Peace, but I know that you are also a wife, that you are also a mother, that you are also a community activist, a community leader. You do a lot in our community, and we are going to dive into that here shortly. Um, but my first question to you is, first of all, how have you been? Because you guys have been busy.
Oh
I mean, I
goodness.
follow you on social media. Y'all been like hella busy.
It's been a busy summer. Actually, summer was kind of a lull. So I'm just like kind of anticipating how things are about to be since school has started
Yep.
and the kids are on go already. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of enjoyed a little peaceful July.
Good deal. Awesome. I saw that y'all just attended. Did y'all just attend like an Astros game or something
We
like that?
did.
Good deal. How was it?
They lost, but
Okay. They've been doing real good at losing here lately, but
oh
that's okay.
no, but it was so good to be in the environment. I forgot how much like I love live baseball.
I
So
do too.
it was fun.
Absolutely, I do too. I attended an Astros game maybe a month or so ago. I don't remember, but I too had forgotten. I was like, oh my god, I love live baseball as
It's
well.
way
So
better live than it
way
is on
better
TV.
live.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
most definitely way better live. And I love the Astros. I'm a huge Astros fan, so that was
Okay.
pretty dope in and of itself. Um, and so explain to our viewers exactly what your role what is your role insist of. I mean, Precinct One, Place One, Justice of the Peace, Judge Naomi Showers Doyle. That is a long title.
It is.
And I wanted to make sure I got it right. She made sure that I added that place one in there.
Got to.
And so tell our viewers exactly what does that role consist of?
Sure. And the reason why we added place one is we do cover the largest precinct. So I'll start there. Precinct one is all of North and West Beaumont. We go all the way out to Bevel Oaks. And so it's a very, very large territory. So I do share that with my colleague, Judge Ben Collins. And so that's because it's so big. And so Justice of the Peace is basically we are a judge in the Justice Court. And so the Justice Court hears cases of small claims up to $20,000, neighbors suing one another. We hear
Okay.
eviction cases, credit card claims, debt claims. We also do inquests where we go out when someone has passed and determine the cause and manner of death. We perform weddings. We do magistration, which is like arraignments at the jail. We sign arrest warrants. We set bonds. It is a very encompassing role. There's so many things that we do. No day is the same. No day is the same. And so your morning could start off before you even walk into work. It could start off with a death call. And then the next thing you know, you're at work and you're marrying somebody. And then you're in court. And then, so it's just a very, very interesting job. It's kind of a 24/7 thing because if someone, anytime of night, whatever day, whatever, you have to be there and available. So that's the role just in the courtroom. That's that part.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's up. You just named some duties and some roles and responsibilities that I wasn't even aware that you all were responsible for.
Mhm.
So that is a very almost tedious,
It's all right.
tedious role. It's a lot,
It's a
So
lot.
my hat goes off to you for that because you guys do a lot. And so you did. I think you kind of already answered one of my questions. So you told me when I was verifying, I was like, hey, I want to make sure I say your title correctly. You said add the place one in there. What does that place one do? How does that differentiate you? Is that like different from what Judge Ben Collins does or something? Or okay.
We do the same exact thing. It's just that because the territory is so large,
Okay.
so if somebody wants to file a lawsuit, they can file it in my court or his court. As long as you're in our precinct, you can file it in any court. Evictions are the same way. So
Okay.
you can evict somebody in my court or his court. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's really to kind of help spread out the workload.
Gotcha.
And we kind of, each one of our courts kind of has like our niche thing. So like my court is like a lot of civil. So we do a lot of civil cases. We hear a lot of cases, trials with attorneys, regular people. And so we're super busy in that regards, but we're kind of niche in our different ways. All across the county, everybody has their own particular like niche that they really do a lot and they're good at.
Awesome. Thank you for explaining that. And so another question that I have for you actually is like, how do you allow, I don't know what are the people that come to court called defendants?
So the plaintiffs are the people who file a lawsuit and defendants
okay.
get sued.
I should know that. I've been both. Defendant.
Most people have at some point. It's fine.
I should know that. I've had my fair share of lawsuits in the past few years. But do you allow the people who have to come to your plaintiffs, defendants, judges, whatever do you allow them to be late? Like they have a scheduled time, do you allow them to be late in your courtroom? How do you handle tardiness?
Yeah, so I always give a grace period. So typically my court is going to start about 15 minutes after the scheduled time. So if that's the case, then you've already got a built-in grace period.
See what you tried to do there. I tried to set her up because she was late getting here today. I told her to get here by a certain time so we could do sound check. And no, I'm messing with you. You did great.
It's facts though. It's facts.
We were still able to do it. So I really was picking you to see what your answer was going to be, but you slithered right on out of there with that grace period.
Yeah, so that grace period. Yeah. So you shouldn't be later than me, right?
Okay. Well, and then there's that. Okay, that part. No, you answered that one well. That was a good one. You did have a grace period too. and so do your family and friends, do they ever like? Honestly, do they call and ask you for favors? You're a judge. It is what it is. Do they call and ask you for favors? Like, hey, I gotta. Okay.
Wait. Do they call it? Wait, I thought you were continuing.
No, favors, like in the courtroom, like any type of court-related or litigious type of favor. Like,
yeah, everybody thinks I'm their resident attorney, and I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not an attorney yet. Okay. And so let's start there. But I can't give legal advice. I can only give legal information. So I don't mind being a go-to person if you need assistance because I will point you in the right direction. So if there's a resource I can give you, if there's a starting point so that you can figure out the rest, I'll definitely give you that legal information. I don't mind it, but as far as favors, I don't get down with all that. And they know that because they know how I am. Yeah.
No, I had
like just be right, just do the right thing. If you come to court, do the right thing, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, because I had someone reach out to me before, literally, and they knew that I knew you. And I think it was about a speeding ticket or something. Do you even handle speeding tickets?
We do.
Do you really?
Not for the city of Beaumont, so that's a municipal thing.
Okay.
We get tickets from the sheriff's office and the DPS troopers, and so and we also get wildlife. So all these entities that are not city, they can file with us.
Shut up! I did not know that. Thank you. So next time I get a ticket from the sheriff's office or DPS, I know who to call.
Well, the troopers are on the patrol, so y'all better be careful.
That part. I do. So I do actually. I am one of those friends. I do call for favors. You might not remember, but yeah, I have called you for help before.
Yeah.
I've called. She said, yeah, she remembers. Listen. I'm gonna pull the friend card if I need to. I've called you for help before. I've called Judge Collins for help before. I think I've called just about every judge I know for help before. Called you. Do you remember what it was?
About an eviction?
It sure was. Yeah. I was needing to evict a tenant and Constable Pollard's office, which is also Precinct 1 too, right? Yeah. So Constable Pollard's office act like they couldn't find the address.
Now why is she putting on?
I did. Constable Pollard knows I'm messing with her, but it's the truth. It's what happened. They act like you couldn't find the address to my property where I was trying to put somebody out because she wasn't paying her rent. And anyways, but I called Judge and you pointed me in the right direction. And then I called Constable Pollard and she helped me and we got it resolved and they were able to put the little lady out. But no, I said all that to say I am one of those friends. I am that family and that friend that will call when I need help. And so thank you for answering.
So let me give you a little context on that because people think that they're like getting a favor, but really, well, that's what you think. But I kind of like handle people kind of very similar, the same in my court. So like say somebody has a speeding ticket and they're like, oh, well, can I get a deferral? And I grant deferrals, I think, very generously. I'm very fair up front, right? I try to give a lot of grace up front. but then I don't move on anything on the back end. So my deferrals, you're gonna have to go 6 months without committing another offense. So you better not speed no more.
Okay.
You gotta turn in a driving record. You gotta do a DP. You gotta do a defensive driving class. So like my intent, well, while it feels like you're getting a favor, I'm trying to make you a safe driver because for 6 months you're gonna make sure you don't get another ticket, right?
Okay.
And so it feels like that. But if you miss any of those markers that I just gave you,
Right. It's a wrap.
it's done.
Okay.
I try to do it at the front because at the back I don't move.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel you. I feel you. That's
That I
fair.
think that's fair, and then I think that's firm because you set the boundary, you set the standard up front, and here it is. I want you to do better, do better.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, if you can't, well,
And
then
it is what it is. You don't. Yeah. You don't need to be driving. No, but I think that, and you make a valid point. You know, I think especially as people who know you, you know, the people who we're your constituents because we vote for you, but we also know you on somewhat of a level outside of, you know, you being a judge. And so I think without abusing that power, we do feel like, you know, hey, I can pick up the phone and call or text and say, hey, yeah, you know, hey, they can't find the address, you know, who should I call? You know, and then you told me who to call, and you put the ball in Javon's lap.
well,
No, y'all all helped. I'm being funny. Y'all all helped. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so you already answered, of course, what type of cases you handle. And so have you ever had any like outlandish, crazy incidents happen in your court?
you know, it's called the People's Court because we have regular people who come to our court, people who don't know court decorum and all that, and so we have to navigate that. So I lead with that to say I very much so have had some very messy cases in my court where, you know, there is a lover suing an ex, and you know, I'm looking at evidence that they don't want shown to other people. And so yeah, it can get very messy, and you have to sift through all of that. And it gets heated also, obviously, when people, especially when it's like lovers or friends or family,
Right.
that can get very, very messy as well. So we definitely have cases like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Have y'all had issues with attire, you know, people trying to come to court, you know, dressed inappropriately, bonnets or, you know, crop tops, flip flops, shorts, biking shorts, all that kind of stuff? No, seriously, because I mean, I'm asking because I've been to the courthouse and I've seen where, I've seen people get almost turned away at the door, like, hey, you can't come to court like that. And I just be in my head wondering, like, why would you? What would make you think that you could go? What would make you think that you could come outside like that? Number one, or like even to check your mailbox or go to Walmart. But furthermore, why would you walk up to the courthouse steps with that type of stuff on? Like, I don't make it make sense.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think sometimes people don't care about impressions because you have to imagine that matters. I mean, can you just imagine if you had a jury trial and you came in with like a bonnet, how they would be judging you and being like, like, you know,
Exactly.
those are regular people. And
Right.
so, and they're judging you, and that's their job in that moment.
Right.
And so, yes, people do come in and we do have to do some corrections, especially on the hat, the coverings. I had somebody try to come in with sunshades. What are you doing? Take the shades off.
Like, why?
What's going on here?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a court.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just curious about that because I've seen it. And so Naomi, are you the youngest JP to hold that seat?
Oh no. Not currently.
Ever.
Oh no. I think there's been younger people than me, but I am the first African American female.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Good, that's what's up. Congratulations. Yeah, on breaking those glass ceilings. I love that because that was definitely gonna be my next question. Yeah. But you're probably the youngest JP seated right now, though, correct?
It's between me and Judge Garner in Precinct 8. He's pretty young. Because I think we're all about the same age, actually. Him, Barty, who's about to be in office, Gardner, I think we're all.
Okay, that's
We
what's
might
up.
all
Okay,
graduate the
Taylor
same
Gardner,
year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
We might
Yeah,
all
shout
be
out
the
to-
same age, but I might be younger.
Yeah, you just might be. You just might be. Okay. You're definitely prettier.
Thank you.
That part.
Well,
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. And so, elections are coming up soon. Okay. Your term is how long?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, so you and Judge Collins, y'all's terms obviously don't run on the same ticket.
So that's a great point. So remember you asked me about place 1, place 2. So the difference there is place 2 judges run with all other justices of the peace. So, and they always run in the gubernatorial period, which is the governor is the top of the ticket. Okay.
Gotcha.
For Texas. And so they run in those even number years called midterm elections. And then JP place 1s, we run with constables and we run on the presidential
ballot. That's right.
So
Absolutely.
very, very different. It makes the way you even have to campaign completely
Oh
different.
my goodness, absolutely. You and I were on the same ticket actually, and I remember that because we were on the ticket with Kamala, correct? Right. And so that, oh my God, that was
What
was
a time.
That was a time. Did you hear me?
What a
That was
time.
a time. I think that, honestly, those were some of the most fun, the funnest times of my adult life was campaigning. It was very interesting. I learned so much. I learned a lot. I love campaigning with you guys. I mean, it was a time. A time was had.
And you actually learn a lot about your community at those polling locations. I learned a lot about my community at those polling locations. And so I don't think anything surprises me any longer.
God, no, you hit the nail on the head. I think one of the things that you guys were kind of veterans to this when I came into the political arena. Me working with the Democratic Party first, and then signing up to run for office. It was fun. It was a lot, but you hit the nail on the head. When I say you learn a lot about your community, about the constituents, about the city, about the county, about voters just in general, and you also learn a lot about the people in your circle. You learn who's with you, who says they're with you, who's only with you when you're campaigning, and all that good stuff. And
it is a test. That is why, like, when you decide to run for office, you have to literally sit down with your family and you have to make a real decision about what that's going to look like. Because the conversations I have to have with my kids when it's time to campaign is like, Mom's not gonna be able to make it to this, and that, but we have to do this, and and even you gotta come to the poll, you gotta work, everybody has a job, and so everybody has to be bought in order for the home to stay solid, and then you to be solid on the campaign trail.
No, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there again, because you're right. It is not just you running for office. It is your entire family. It is your circle of trust. Everyone is in this, and you also have to have those tough conversations with your spouse and your children and your family and your close friends, and say, hey, people might try to do a smear campaign. They might shoot slugs. They may talk about me on social media, whatever. And I remember telling my campaign team not to respond. Like, if I find out you respond to any of the foolery out there, you're off the team. Like, you can't respond.
And that's very hard.
It's very
because it's hard for you as a candidate.
Yeah.
And so it's extremely hard for people who love you to see you under the gun, and facing those things and not be able to say anything. That is extremely hard.
It is extremely hard. Yeah. But oh my God. But I'm sorry. I loved it. I'm one of those weirdos who absolutely loved it. And I love getting behind, now getting behind other candidates to help them be successful, such as yourself, such as Judge Collins and AJ and LaDonna. And I just absolutely love it. So I wish
that's good. We need more people like you, girl. We need more people.
I love it. I love working behind. I love working behind the scenes, working campaigns and at the polls and all that good stuff. And so I do hope more people in the community would get involved, because I think a lot of people out there don't realize that they can get involved. It doesn't take a whole lot to support candidates. You can do it from home. You can make phone calls. You can send out text messages. Block walking, you could spread the word. You can share on social media. There are all types.
Helps.
Oh my God, liking and sharing helps so much, helping candidates. So you can really do it.
Send them a couple dollars.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I mean, even if it's just $5, think about it. If everyone in your community and in your circle sent a candidate $5, those signs cost money. Commercials cost money. Shirts cost money. Campaigning costs money. Okay.
And if we're being honest, I think that is always been an issue for like the Democratic Party. We are not big fundraisers because our community, I don't think we value how you actually have to put money into these campaigns. People don't win campaigns without money.
Correct.
Yes, you got to get out there, you got to work, and you better work, and you better expect to work very hard.
Yes.
But you have to have money to run your campaigns. And so either you're going to self-fund, which you better come in wanting to self-fund, because you're going to be looking for them dollars. So you better come in with some money.
Absolutely.
And then you also have to be able to get out there and raise money as well. But our community is kind of a little bit later to the game in the importance of putting money into people's campaign. And so that's just the reality. And so you just have to deal with that as a candidate or as an elected official. And so you got to navigate what that looks like.
Through that, you made a very important point. Yeah, it does. It costs money. I think I dumped maybe 30,000 of my own funds into my campaign. Like, I mean, and don't get me wrong, we received a good bit of donations, whatever. But you will, again, listen. If you don't have no money, don't put your name on that ballot, because you're going to be dumping your own money into your campaign as well.
And so you should be your biggest investor.
You really should be, absolutely.
Yeah, don't come in here thinking everybody gonna pay for your stuff, because you better come with your own money. If you believe in yourself, put your money up.
I'm so glad. Can you say that louder for the people in the back? Thank you.
If you believe in yourself, put your money up, right, on yourself.
Yeah, because you're betting on yourself.
Exactly.
You gotta bet on yourself, period. And if you don't bet on yourself, why would anybody else, right? Absolutely. And so what made you want to run for office? What made you want to run for that position?
So I've had some experiences basically being mentored by elected officials. I worked for a Texas House of Representatives. He was a freshman when I worked for him in 2011. He's been there since and still there. So that just tells you how amazing he was even back then and now.
Okay.
And so I worked for him, and I saw how he worked with his constituents, how he used his office to fight for his community.
Are you allowed to say who it is?
Oh, yeah. It was Representative Ron Reynolds. He's out of Fort Bend County. He's amazing.
Okay.
And the things that he does for his community, he's always active. And so he's amazing. And then, so I also worked for Miss Carolyn Guidry. She was the county clerk, and she's running for county clerk again.
She's on the ballot again. Yeah.
And so I worked for her. I was her elections manager, and I will never forget this one thing. And I saw her recently, and I told her, I said, I'll never forget how you told me, I am a Black woman in office. I'm always going to have opposition, no matter what I do, how well I do it. And that is so true. I've experienced it in my own campaigns in my own life or whatever. And so having that, it makes you remember, like, okay, it doesn't matter how great I do, I'm going to continue to do great, but I already expect the opposition.
Absolutely.
And you move like that.
Absolutely.
And it makes you move different. And so that was important. So anyway, so seeing them use their offices and be elected officials and fight for the community, obviously those things rubbed off on me, but ultimately, like, I didn't want to follow in her footsteps, because I felt like there was an impact that needed to be made on a more local level. And I saw that the Justice of the Peace Office could be used to be super impactful for our youth, for our community, and creating more access to justice and resources. And so for me, that was my route. And so I went from the county clerk's office over elections, which I absolutely loved that job. It was very hard, but I loved it. And then I was like, I got to use my talents to better serve my community. And so when I made the decision, God was finally like, well, we've been waiting on you. So, and it was a moment of clarity when I finally said yes, because it was time.
It's time. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Oh goodness, I just absolutely love, and I love what you do. I love the route that you took to get where you are, but I love what you do in the community. You're very impactful in the community, and I love how you work with the youth, how you mentor, and you do your internships and academies, and we'll kind of touch on that. And so, when the community hears judge, again, some people have been under a rock, many people just don't know, but they hear judge and they automatically think that, oh, you must be an attorney, right? Because I thought that at first too, until I started working with the party, years ago. I thought, oh, any judge must be an attorney, and so that's not the case. You're not an attorney yet. Correct.
Correct. And so so there's 2 judges in the state of Texas that do not require you to be an attorney.
Okay.
That is a county judge and that is a judge in the justice court, which is a justice of the peace. And so those two do not require you to have a law license or be an attorney or anything like that. And so I always like to tell kids that, because, you know, maybe you want to be in law and you want to pursue something legal, but you don't go the law school route. Hopefully you go to school, right? Like you go to college or whatever, but you take a different route. And so this is an option for you. Yeah, it's absolutely an option. And my thing is, if you are smart and you're willing to read and understand, you can be successful.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that, because, you know, we never know what young person out there may want to take that route eventually. Now, don't come up here trying to run against Naomi, but
trust me, young people, when it's your time, I will not be dying in office. Okay, I promise you, I'm gonna pass it along.
She will pass the baton.
I will pass the baton. I won't be here forever. I promise.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. But thank you for sharing that is an option for anyone out there, especially our youngsters who may want to get into this type of field. And so you're very well known, of course, in the community. Okay. Justice of the Peace, Judge Naomi Showers Doyle. How does your husband, I love your husband, by the way, y'all are so cool, hella cool. And so how does he respond to, how does he handle everyone knowing his wife? You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes when you're a woman and you're in a position of power or influence, and you're, you know, or maybe popular, if you want to use the word, people walk up and they'll say, "Oh, you're such and such's husband," and some men get you know, they get offended. You know, a lot of insecure men, I would say, they get offended by that. You know, you got to be a secure man to be with a powerful or influential woman.
Very much so.
Am I right on that?
You're absolutely correct. And so, thank God I don't have a man that's insecure. I'll start there. But yeah, and you know, and that's the thing, right? But he has his own like lane, and so he has his own interest, and so we're not in competition, right? We're in collaboration. Jesus. And so when he has like his gym, he owns a gym, and so we pour into that, right? We support that. And so when it's my turn to like do something, he's gonna pour into me, he's gonna support that, like, you know. And so people say like 50-50. No, it's like we're gotta be 100 up in this. Like we gotta be all in everybody's endeavor, our passions and stuff. And so it never feels, I mean, I can't speak for him, but I've never seen in a room him get like flustered or like embarrassed. And also, baby, listen, I love my man, so I'm not gonna be, y'all can't come this way. You can't come this way. So, and that's important though, right? Because you want to also build and make him feel like I don't have to worry about those things. And you don't.
Absolutely. I love that.
Okay.
I love that. I love that for y'all. And I love your, you know, the unity. You guys collaborate a lot. You know, you work out together. You do a lot of things together. And he was at the polls, you know, being very supportive. He never came off as insecure, or, you know, when people would walk up and, "Oh, your judge's husband," I never saw him get flustered about it. I would think that he's never thrown it in your face, you know.
Oh no.
Yeah, things like that. So shout out to the real men out there that don't get flustered and don't get, you know, aggravated and irritated by being with an influential, powerful woman. It takes a really secure man to do that.
I always say partner picking is paramount. So
listen, now you tell me.
Listen, it's paramount. It can lead you up and it can lead you down. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, Jesus. Okay, but no, I love the way y'all. And so, speaking of, you know, y'all work out together, and I know that he has his gym, and so that is how you both stay so fit, right?
Yeah.
But
you try. Well, I try. He is. I try.
Yeah. No. You got it going on. I remember when we were campaigning off, actually, and we were at the headquarters, and some guys came up there and working or whatever, and they were just drooling over you. You got out the truck and you walked into and oh my God, and so many times at the polls. I mean, you do have a really nice shape and everything. I'm gonna give you
all right now. You too, queen.
Okay, thank you. I paid for mine. No, thank you. And so,
girl.
You know, look, I said I got the
Ain't
money.
nothing wrong with it at all.
And so we're all real. We got enhancements and nothing like that.
We natural, girl.
Oh, we natural. Okay. Oh, you stunting on me. Okay. I ain't mad at you. Okay.
Natural,
You got it. Yeah. Really nice shape though. Go stunt on them, baby, with the natural. Stunt on them. Okay. Okay. And so I'm going to kind of circle back to, you said you worked in the county clerk's office as an elections manager, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so you saw a lot of voting trends, correct? What's your take on the voting trends in, I'll start on a lower level. I'll say in the city of Beaumont. I'll say in city elections. I won't even branch out to county yet. What is your take on the voting trends? And I'm gonna narrow it even more. What is your take on the voting trends in the community of color in city elections?
I think we talk a lot, but we don't do a lot. And so there's a lot of conversations on social media, and there's a bunch of, talk at the barbershops and all the things, but I don't see that action at the polls. And so that for me, how serious are you? How mad are you? Like, I just always wonder, like, you say you mad, you don't like this and that. Well, show me. Go to the polls and show me how mad you are. Show me that you don't like this. Show me that you do like this. Get up and show me. So I just feel like we have to get off our couches, get off of our phones and off the computers, and we need to put it in action. Because how will we get changed? I'm telling you, social media is not going to be the thing that's going to, or whatever platform or whatever you use, is not going to be the thing that's going to make the change in the community like you think. That doesn't get people in office. People who are in office should represent the things that you care about. Well, they're not going to represent the things that you care about if you don't get up and vote for them. And so I know people are like, oh, they're always talking about vote. But seriously, it's so basic and it's so easy.
It's so easy.
It takes 30 minutes of your day to vote. So it's really something.
It doesn't even take that long, to be honest with you. I've timed it a few times. And the last time I went to the polls,
especially for a city election.
For a city election, absolutely. It took me 8 minutes. I timed it from the time that I got into Rogers Park. I drove down here from Houston to vote in a city election. I drove down here, went in to vote. It took me 8 minutes. I timed it, and I actually put it on social media to show you all that it literally took me 8 minutes. 8 minutes out of your day to go in there and vote for. So think of it this way. If you think city elections, county elections, local elections are not important, think of it this way. Had we not voted in the people like Judge Doyle or Judge Ben Collins or other people that we know in the community, and we get stuck in a bind, you're trying to evict a tenant, or you got a speeding ticket, or whatever it is that you in your day-to-day basis that you have an issue with, and you can't pick up the phone and call or text, or at least know somebody that can get in touch with them and say, hey, or get in touch with someone in their office. Even if you can't reach them directly, they're accessible. That's the whole point of voting people into office that are accessible, that can actually help you, that are not just sitting there riding the bench or just want a title. They're there to actually help the community. Or you have a kid who would like an internship or whatever it is, but you vote for the people who are accessible. Am I right, Judge Doyle?
Correct. That is correct. I mean, and it's such, I mean, I don't know. I just can't over explain how important it is, because it's something that people are trying to restrict and are putting rules and obstacles in place so that we can't get there, because that is our most basic form of expression that actually does something, that actually moves the needle, that actually helps us as a community. And so when we decide to not vote, like, and I've heard every single excuse, and I have a rebuttal to every single one, and it's none of y'all are basing it in logic, if you ask me. And so you should vote, and that's it. Like,
that's it. Yeah. And think about it, guys. If voting was not important, if voting wasn't really impactful, if it didn't really do anything, why do you think they would keep trying to move the goal during the middle of the game? They keep moving the goalposts in the middle of the game. They keep rezoning, the gerrymandering thing that why do you think they keep doing it? It's impactful. Okay, they're trying to throw us off course. So get out there and vote. And you know what? What do you think? What would it take for especially our younger demographic to get to the polls and vote? What do you think it would take to get people to the polls? And I mean, I hate to target young people. A lot of young people don't vote because I know a bunch of older people that don't vote either. And I think it's absolutely asinine for older people to not vote. I mean, I think that's just ridiculous. What do you think it would take to get people to the, especially in our community,
It's
to
gonna
get people
take
to
some things. So it does take candidates that they can buy into. That is true. We do need people who they believe in. But also it's an education thing as well, right? Because you have to understand, when you understand why it's important, how you voting for this particular person then affects how things look in your community. When you understand those things, you are like, okay, well, I have to, right? It's an education thing. Like my daughter would never miss an election because her education shows her from her home, not at school.
Absolutely.
Not at school, but from home.
Teach you that at school.
From home, it says we go to the polls and we vote. Who are these people? Let me look them up. So it's one of those things, and it's something we have to continue to pass down generationally. And I think that we've lost that it's lost in the sauce. Maybe, and it's the millennials. We kind of lost it somewhere or whatever. I blame the boomers. I don't know. But y'all were our parents, and y'all instill it in us. I don't know, but mine did.
Not really.
So, well, I mean,
Not really. Yeah.
because I think they were trying to make their own way, and so we have to instill that in our people. But even we need more access to polls. We need more polls that are open, but you can't justify having 20 more polls if people don't show up.
It does no good. Absolutely. You know what I think would work? You know what I think needs to, I think anyone who complains on social media, if you complain about a politician, if you complain about a policy, if you complain about anything in your community, if you complain about the culture, I think if you get behind your keyboard on your phone, on your computer, on your electronic device, and you complain about anything, that you should be required to vote. Just because you complained about something, you should automatically be required
And guess
to
what? And if
vote.
you don't vote, you're restricted. You can't even say nothing negative. You got nothing.
Yeah. And if you
Cut your-
don't
cut your-
restrict,
cut
no,
your-
you should be
cut your
restricted
social
from,
off.
thank you. You should be restricted from social media. You don't need to get on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, nothing. If you're voting, not voting, and you complain, you should have your social media taken away from you. Okay. That's my take on it, but we know that ain't gonna happen. And so you did a video here recently that I thought was very interesting. I saw your TikTok about the educational gap where you spoke about the cashier just putting the money in the register, probably not counting it, not really knowing how to count change and whatnot. And I thought that was interesting because I had an experience myself at a fast food restaurant here recently where a cashier, I hardly ever pay in cash, but I did for whatever reason. Maybe I needed change, I don't know, but I paid in cash and I gave her almost the exact change, and she just looked at me, and I thought to myself, oh my God, she doesn't understand why I gave her a dime. Like, I don't need, anyways, long story short, y'all know what I'm talking about, the people who deal with cash. She didn't understand why I gave her the loose change also.
Yes,
because I don't want a bunch of pennies back. I don't even think they make pennies anymore.
That throws them completely off.
You know what I'm saying? And it threw, and she just looked at me. And I was like, baby, don't worry about it. Just give me the $2 back. I don't need the loose change. Just don't even worry about it. I think I wanted like a quarter back. Baby, she just looked at me and I felt sorry for her and I didn't want to hold up the line, nor did I want to embarrass her. But I thought to myself, oh my God, she did not understand why I gave her.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that happens to me on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, I'm having to quickly educate on the cashiers. And so what I've decided to start doing, last month, is I tell them the amount I'm supposed to have back so that they can confirm and then work back from there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But that means I have to do the mental math myself.
You sure do.
But I do that because I don't even get frustrated no more. It happens too much. So I'm just like, I was like, so 211. And then I literally just had me last week, and she pulled out the calculator and she did her little math and she came up with the same amount that I did. But that's my new tactic because they don't know.
They don't know. Oh my God! Like I said, I hardly ever paying cash, so I was blown away by that. She just looked at me and I was like, The hell?
Yeah, because I'm digging my little change thing because I want my dollars back. I don't want no more change. But
Right, that's right, exactly. That was the whole point. But anyway, she was totally bewildered. She just looked at me, and it took me a minute to figure out. I was like, oh my God, this baby don't know how to count.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't know how to count cash, change, whatever. But anyway, so Jesus, fix it. But to your point on the video, to your point, you also said that some groups of people are actually, would actually want and contribute to the educational gaps. And I think your point is very valid there. There are groups that contribute. They do want those educational gaps. And I think a lot of people out there, you need to realize that there are groups of people, maybe elite people out there, groups who do encourage an educational gap, because you got to think about it. When you have that educational gap, you also have that socioeconomic gap, right? And if I can keep you down here on this educational level, I can also keep you at a lower income level,
correct.
which causes me to be at a higher educational and income level. It's just like I equate it to listen, we got to have ugly people in the world. If everybody was cute, I mean, no, the pretty people wouldn't stand out.
Golly.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Golly.
It's the truth. If you didn't have ugly people, okay, attractively challenged people. Is that better? If you didn't have attractively challenged people in the world, then the cute or the pretty people wouldn't stand out. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. You gotta have,
Well, I mean, still, even with the gap and people benefiting from the gap, I just think that it's unfortunate that it's at the expense of our children, because while we widen the gap, I don't think it's beneficial even to some of the. So look at our school district, for instance, right? If we're gonna dumb down education, or if we're gonna make it to where they're not prepared, do you think the poor kids are the only ones not learning? They're all sitting in the same class. So what are we saying about our future is what I'm saying. How are we investing into our future? Because I mean, my kids are sitting in that class. Doctors' kids are sitting in the classroom, along with some of our socially economic challenged kids as well. They're all sitting in the same classroom, learning the same thing. I mean, what the superintendent say, they learn on the same level and all this stuff or whatever. They're all learning the same stuff. So if somebody's trying to restrict what they're going to learn, how does that benefit us as a society?
valid point. Now, of course, I have my views on the whole educational, system, educational concepts, academic concepts. I have my views on that. And I think you and I kind of have discussed a little bit of that, because so let's touch on that. Your children are in Pegasus program, correct? For those of you out there who may not know, Pegasus, that is advanced learning, advanced academic courses for your, what we used to call GT, or gifted and talented kids. And so your children are in Pegasus program. And there have been some changes since the TEA takeover and the board
Pegasus
manager
doesn't exist anymore.
and Pegasus doesn't exist anymore, right? And so as a parent, so let's take Judge, Doyle out of the equation. As mommy, as a parent, as the mom of your Pegasus students, how do you feel about that?
So I have mixed emotions. I'll start with, fortunately my kids are in 7th and 8th grade. And so they're already in the advanced courses and you can't pull them back. Now, if that would have been the discussion of, oh, well, we got to pull all these kids back because whatever, well, we would have been in Austin and that would have been a whole different story.
Correct.
And so, however, identifying academically advanced students and giving them additional material or advanced material so they can continue to stimulate their mind, I think that is beneficial on all levels, right? Because it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what they look like, it doesn't matter their income, it's about the intellect. And if their capacity for learning is greater than someone else's, or they're advanced, shouldn't you feed that and let that grow more? You shouldn't restrict that. And so that is my concern, is why are we trying to restrict the learning and the capacity that these kids already have? That's a concern for me, because it's like you're almost holding them back.
I absolutely agree. I mean, as a former educator, I absolutely agree with you on that. I wanted your take, as a parent, and you have the right to feel that way, and justifiably so. But I absolutely agree with you on that. And so Tell us just a little bit before we close out. I know that you have a community task force and a judicial academy. Those are two different entities, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so the community task force.
So the community task force, it grew out of the violence that we were seeing at our parks, because of the fights and the gun violence and all the things that were happening. And then we were entering into the summer. And so knowing that more kids were on the street in the summer, I wanted our community to have a focus on the parks, because the parks are supposed to be a place of safety. Nobody should feel in fear of their life because somebody was shooting there last week. And so my idea was to have our community, anybody who was interested, to come and to be there. And so we're there, we're engaging with the children, we're engaging with the participants and people at the park, but also it goes two ways. So you see us, right? You see that we're here, but also we see you.
Okay.
And what does that mean? That means that if any riffraff ensues, I saw you.
Exactly. And there's a
And can identify you. Okay. And so please understand that we have to bring back the village mentality. And the village mentality means if you see something, you go say something. Yeah, that's how we keep our community safe. And so that was the idea of the task force, because even an incident happened where somebody threatened to shoot somebody while my kids were at the park. And I was like, oh, you're not, no way.
You were like, oh, hell no.
Yeah,
That's what you really want to say.
you don't get to take over the park.
Right.
You're like, we're not doing that now, no way. And so it kind of grew out of that. And I'm excited to where it's going to go, because now that we've kind of shifted from that, it's going to move into some different capacities. And again, it's about going to where people are. I can host a bunch of programs, and you can, everybody hosts programs.
Right.
But the people who need the things, they don't come to the programs. Right. You got to go to them. And so one time we went to one of the community task force. We were at a park at College Street. Normally they're there playing basketball. For some reason they weren't. I don't know if we scared them away, but they weren't there. So then I was like, well, let's go to the apartment complex. It's like right next door. Mm-hmm. We went up in there. I'm talking about all the kids, all the people, and we just engaged with them. It was so simple, but nobody goes out there. Nobody
don't think about it. They don't think about those communities. Think about those communities, the apartment complexes, the mobile home communities, the urban communities. Think about those communities and go out there. And I'm talking to all of my elected officials at this point. Go, because those are your underserved, overlooked communities, and I'm sure that other elected officials some do that.
I'm sure,
but more often than not, those communities get overlooked. And so thank you for that. And then you have your judicial academy. Is that kind of your internship?
Yeah, so my judicial academy is for 10th through 12th graders, and it allows them to come and observe my court. They hear cases, we discuss those cases, we discuss the laws, then they go to other people's courtrooms, like other judges, or they'll meet other elected officials, sit down and talk to them and observe how their offices go. And so it's just an opportunity for them to not only experience the criminal justice system and the court system, but also to be able to walk away and say, well, I now have a network of elected officials, right, who I know. Nice. I mean, I have students right now that are getting ready to go into law school who were in my judicial academy, the very first iteration of it. And so that means something to me. People who have gotten, recommendation letters from myself and other elected officials in the program and been able to get into programs and get scholarships. That matters to me. And so just giving back, because again, it was through mentorships and internships that I was able to get to where I am. And so I want to pour that back into our community.
And you want to pay it forward. And that's one of the things I absolutely respect about you as an elected official and as a person, as a woman in general. You do pay it forward. You do a lot in the community. So much respect to you for all of the work that you do in our community. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Judge Doyle won me over. She already had my respect when we were out one night after campaigning, and I saw her sing in karaoke.
Oh my goodness!
All of the words to Set It Off.
Everyone
by Lil Boosie.
Bar for bar.
You bar for bar. I mean, she won me over right there. I was like, I got to get to know this lady right here, because that was impressive to me. I mean, every word to Set It Off by Lil Boosie And if you don't know what that song is, then don't worry about it. But
I just saw Webby in concert also.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Yes.
Actually, where'd you see him?
I saw him in Lake Charles.
In Lake Charles. Okay,
He gave us a little 20-minute performance. I was a little disappointed, but
that's okay. He was at 409 what a few months ago, like Chuck's birthday or whatever, and he put on a show. Yeah, it was ghetto ratchet bougie. Oh yeah, it was all of that, but it was fun. We had a time. The kids wanted to go, so I was like, hey, let's go. And we had a time.
Yeah, he did something. All right.
Lil Webby, Lil Webby, all of that. Oh, and so speaking of that, so I just came off the most amazing cruise. I am not a cruise gal. Okay, let's talk about that. But oh my God, it was the Third Coast Hip Hop Voyage. So I was able to go and support one of my clients, and with anyway, Greg Shop was there, Slim Thug, Lil Kiki. When I tell you, we had the most ghetto-fied, fantabulous time. It was amazing. So if you get a chance, check out Third Coast Hip Hop Voyage. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you my take on stuff like that. Like when people be like, "Oh, it's ghetto, it's urban, it's whatever." I think any time that we are able to gather and have a good time, and it's no fighting, it's no none of that, that's Black excellence to me.
Black excellence at its best. Thank you for saying that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not just when we dressed up and being bougie. It's like when we can come together and just chill, and it be no drama.
And it was no drama. It was no fighting, no drama, none of that. Everybody had a good time. I mean, it was Black excellence. Thank you at its best. It was fantabulous, and I can't wait. I'm ready to go again next year. But anyways, but
you almost convinced me.
Almost. I'm gonna send you the details, because goodness, it would a time was had. And so one last thing I kind of want to touch on. You also line step, right? Yeah. So is it the Southeast Texas line steppers?
Southeast Texas line steppers.
Southeast Texas line steppers. So Judge also line steps, and I enjoy that about you too. You're so down to earth. You line step. You rap.
I do.
You do it all. I love that about you. And so before we close out, what are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on the elected officials that might not be so down to earth like you are? You're very down to earth. You're very approachable. You're one of the smartest females. I've literally intellectually smartest females that I've ever met. So I respect that too. But then you can get down to earth and bust a rhyme or whatever, line dance and break dance and probably all that good stuff. What is your take on elected officials who? It is what it is. I'm gonna just say it. They only pop out during campaign season. Number one, they portray to be holier than thou. They look down their nose at Lil Boosie karaoke, Lil Webby concerts, line dancing, TikToks. I mean, I'm just being honest. I experienced it firsthand. Making TikTok, and then all of a sudden, anyway. What is your take on those elected officials?
Let me lead with this. I'm gonna be honest. I know what you're talking about, but I am very careful of judging people at where they are in their journey, because I don't know what they had to go through to get there. Okay. And so I know there are some elected officials who seem maybe out of touch, right? But I think that there was a time that they were. There is something that happens though when you are very authentic and down to earth. Sometimes that can turn on you through your own community. And like I said, that's what I'm saying. You have to be very careful, because you don't know what they went through to get to where they are. And I've heard those stories from some of them, like some of the older, not just here, but even like in the state of Texas, just listening to some of the older politicians, like, oh yeah, I used to do this and this, but no, because that turned on me, or this person turned on me. And so now I'm just away. And so, so I understand what you're saying, but I'm super careful about like judging people on that part, because I'm like, don't know what. I mean, if you're in your 60s, you've seen a lot of life, right? And if you've been in office for more than 10 years, you've weathered many a storms. And so I don't know what you had to do to get there, And so I keep that in mind. I wish they would keep that in mind for us, but keep that in mind for them, because you just don't know.
It's a very fair statement. Thank you. And you know what? That's very enlightening. I'm always open to constructive criticism and feedback. And you know what? I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably still going to be judgmental of you. I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is because I think, I mean, no, but duly noted, and I will take that to heart. I am still going to judge you though, because if you can let someone else's opinions, you know, whether it's your constituents or the community or your friends or family who have turned on you, if you let that turn you away from being authentic, shame on you. You need to get you some thicker skin. So I'm still gonna judge you. But
yeah, well, I hope that they're being themselves though. Like, right? I hope so.
well, but if being yourself is, you know, have you acting like you got to stick up your ass, I don't want to be around you anyway. So I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Well, everybody ain't gonna rap Boosie now.
Okay, well then that's not the that's not the elected official I want.
No.
If you can't rap Lil Boosie, don't put your name on the ballot because you're not getting my vote. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you a question. We're winding down. I'm going to ask you a question. I do not want you to think about it though.
Okay.
I want you to answer
Rapid
immediately.
fire.
All right,
Go ahead.
rapid fire. Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X?
Malcolm X.
Give me
Oh
some.
goodness.
Give me some. Thank you. Absolutely. Okay, that's what's up. And so,
But you know, Martin, he had a little Malcolm X in him. Toward the end of his life, he had seen he had seen enough.
He had seen, and he had enough. He had seen enough. He had experienced enough. And so you're absolutely right. But it was too late for me. I need you to out the gate be a thug. Okay. Out the gate.
And then, you know, and then Malcolm, he even got on his Mecca and his chill stuff. So, but
and that's what I
but
respect.
off top,
That's what I respect about Malcolm. You can come out the gate a thug, and then you can kind of mellow out towards the end, like Malcolm did. And so, I appreciate you for that. And so, our shameless plug of the week is actually the Shawn Sold It real estate team. Whoop whoop! Thank you. And I'm giving the shameless plug of the week to the Shawn Sold It team because in my absence, I was out of the country actually for a week, and they held it down. I'm talking about Rashana, Eleanor, Jessica, April. I just hired April, and she's been an amazing addition to our team. They held it down. I couldn't get phone service for a week, and they held it down. So shout out to the Shawn Sold It team. Appreciate you. Yes, flawless award. Our flawless award this week goes to Rec Shop Records and Third Coast Hip Hop Voyage. We had a time. Thank you so much, Derek Dixon, D-Rec, Rec Shop Records, Slim Thug, Lil Kiki, Young Al. Oh my God, y'all did the damn thing. Thank y'all for the hospitality, also for being so down to earth and accommodating to not only myself and my guests, but everyone who was on the Third Coast Hip Hop Voyage. And the I Don't F With You award this week goes to the judge who denied Carmelo Anthony his new trial, although he did recuse the old judge of the case and gave him the boot, and rightfully so, with his racist ass. He did not grant him a new trial, and so you get the I Don't F With You award for that, because I'm gonna need you to do better. Get that man a new trial. You know, y'all know that shit ain't right. Motivation of the day: it is perfectly okay to outgrow people, places, and things. Stop making people allowing people to make you feel guilty because you have outgrown them. It is perfectly fine to outgrow people. It's called evolution, and walk away. You don't wear the same shoe size you wore in kindergarten, and you don't wear the same bra size you wore in the 7th grade. So why in the hell would people expect you to keep the same relationships, ideas, and morals and values that you had in your teens, 20s, and 30s? It's okay to outgrow people and places and things. All right. Thank you so much, Judge Naomi Doyle. You are beautiful inside and out. I appreciate you. I know that you are busy. Thank you so much to our viewers for tuning in. We have faithful viewers now. People are reaching out, asking to come on the podcast and giving us ideas and questions and all that. So grateful, grateful, grateful. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for tuning in. We are closing out. God bless.
God bless you guys.
God bless you. Mike on with Shawn. We are signing out.